Hello everyone, this is Kat, and this is another tag that I've made up myself, and it's called the Holiday Survival Guide tag. And basically I tried to come up with a few things that people tend to get stressed out about at this time of year, during the holiday season. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to name each thing, and then I'm going to give my own personal advice as to how I deal with it or how I think other people could deal with it to get through the holiday season with less stress. So if you're going to do this tag, that's what you would do as well. Name each item, each stressful item, and then how you think it would be best to deal with that particular thing in your own experience or maybe from something that you've read or heard other people do. So, number one, finding good gifts. I have to say that everyone has at least that one person in their life who's really hard to buy for. And my way of overcoming the anxiety or the problem of finding a good gift for someone who's hard to buy for is to shop year round for them. Rather than waiting until November or December to go and buy their present, I will actually look, like if I'm out somewhere in the summertime and I see something that makes me think of them, I will buy it in the summertime for them. Now, the other thing, if it's more the fact that it's hard to actually have ideas in the first place rather than that you just don't see the right things at the right time, I really suggest, even if you think you're a good listener, to really try very much so listening when you're around that person, because people say little things all the time that give you hints about their interests or like even budding interests. Like everyone knows that so and so loves cats, but that person probably has other interests that they don't necessarily talk about all the time. But if you really listen to them when they're talking, you'll actually get little peeks or glimpses into other stuff that they're into as well, and then you don't always have to buy them something cat related every single year. So just try to get into the habit of listening. When you're out, if you do go out shopping with them, which is a great idea, go out shopping with them one day, and like not even around the holidays or anything, just a random shopping trip, and just pay attention to the kind of stuff that they pick up and look at or talk about or almost buy or do buy, and that'll give you ideas for when it's actually time to get them gifts at the holiday season. Number two, staying within your budget. This has definitely always been something that's been stressful for me each year because I always find it difficult when it gets down to it if I end up having to buy all the gifts, with a single paycheck right before Christmas, and then I worry because my family exchanges gifts at Christmas, sorry. And I celebrate Yule, but we do gift giving at Christmas time. So what I've started to do rather than buying all the gifts like right before Christmas is I start like literally at the beginning of November, and that way I can spread out my gift buying over a few paychecks. So I buy a few gifts with one paycheck, then with the next, then with the next. And that way it's not interfering with my ability to pay my rent or my other bills. And I don't accidentally overspend without realizing it because I'm buying small amounts of things at a time. So it's really easy for me to see how much is going out of my bank account. And what I also do is I make a list of how many people there are for me to buy for. And I'll do this at the beginning of November. I make a list of how many people there are for me to buy for, and then I put a price point beside their name of how much I'm willing to spend on that person. And I stay within that. Like I really actually make myself stay within that. So that's my way of staying within the budget and avoiding financial stress during the holidays. Number three, issues between family members. So a lot of us either get together at our own family's house, or maybe we're at our own place, but then we have other people over. Or sometimes we'll go to another, to our partner's house or to their family, whatever. In any case, a lot of times you're getting into large gathering situations, and there's oftentimes, maybe a little bit of drinking going on, and everyone's got a little bit of a heightened level of, anxiety or stress just because it's the holiday season. So sometimes people say or do things that they really shouldn't, and it's not appropriate. And if you're the kind of person who likes to speak up for yourself, or maybe doesn't, but you get these urges to do it at these gatherings, it's usually not a good idea to do it right then and there. It's better to maybe call that person up the next day after the holidays and say, you know what, like I had a really great time with you yesterday, but I just wanted to let you know that when you said such and such comment, it did kind of hurt my feelings, and I was just wondering why you said that, It's better to say it after. But how do you avoid saying it at the time? Because sometimes we just get upset and we say things right then and there, like I said, because people have been drinking or whatever. And I read something in an article in a magazine this year that I think would be really helpful that I'm going to try in the future if I ever find myself in this kind of situation. What you do is you pretend that you're at someone else's family event and that you're just like a guest to that person and that you don't have anything personally to do with any of these people. And because usually when you're at someone else's family event and not your own, or even if you're at someone else's family event but you know those people really, really well, just pretend that you're at more like a stranger's family event. And you really wouldn't try to get involved in situations. And if someone even said something to you or somebody else, you probably wouldn't start a conflict over it. You know, you would just be like, okay, I'm going to try to like dissolve this situation or deflect it. So you'd start another conversation, you'd, you know, make an excuse to leave the room and then come back after you feel better or whatever. So yeah, just use that little mind trick on yourself and pretend that you're at like a stranger's family function and you're just like a guest of someone else there. And that'll help you to take things a little bit less personally. Number 4, traveling. A lot of us either have a long drive because we're traveling to someone else's place at some point during the holidays, maybe for a holiday party, maybe for the actual big event, or we're taking a bus trip. I usually take bus trips. And it can be very stressful traveling because you have to pack and bring all your stuff and you don't want to forget anything. And it can be just a long drive or a long journey. So the things that I like to do when I'm traveling are, first of all, I like to pack in advance. Packing last minute never helps. It never ever does. So pack the night before or the day before you're going to leave and make a list of the things that you want to bring. And like especially make a list of the stuff that you think you might forget and you really don't want to forget. Then put everything into your bag that you can. So if you don't have a special travel toothbrush, obviously you can't put that in your bag right away, but write that on a piece of paper, like don't forget toothbrush. But everything else that you can already pack in advance, like some of the clothes and some of the other accessories you're going to bring and your gifts and whatever, put those into bags and put those bags by your door. So they're just waiting for you and they're ready to go, and all you have to do is add those extra few things. That'll save you a lot of time. Also, buy a couple of magazines or bring a book, because sometimes if you're in a car but you're in the back seat, or if you're on a bus trip, it's nice to have something to read so you don't just have to listen to the annoying conversations of people around you if you don't want to. And it's also really good, whether you're going by car or bus, to bring like a cushion or a blanket, and you can not only use that to rest your head on or to put on your lap, but a cushion or a blanket you can actually put behind your back if you're in the driver's seat driving. Because sometimes as you drive, you get really bad posture. I see this happening with people all the time. Put the cushion or the blanket rolled up behind your back, and it'll help keep you in a nice upright position so your circulation and everything's good, your legs don't fall asleep. And then when you arrive to where you're going, you don't feel all, crinkled up, and you don't feel all stiff and more tired or stressed out because of that. And you won't be holding all this tension in your body. So you'll feel really relaxed upon arrival. And bring some nice music, whether it's going to be to listen to on your phone or your iPod or in your car or whatever. Just bring some nice, fun music that you really enjoy that makes you feel chilled out and relaxed. Then, number 5 is hosting. So I don't have a lot of experience with personally hosting, but I can say that if you're hosting an event like a party, or if you're actually hosting like a Christmas dinner or something like that, what you can do is delegate. I just really recommend delegating. So obviously you want to make a list of the stuff that you need to buy or the supplies that you need to have for the actual day, but then delegate stuff to people. Ask someone to bring a salad, ask somebody else to bring a dessert. These are little things that they can do easily. They can buy a dessert if they want to, they can buy a salad if they want to, and a salad or a dessert is honestly not that hard to make. And that way you can just focus on preparing the main course of the meal, and you get to spend more time actually socializing and enjoying your guests' company. Because if you're making every single aspect of the meal, it's a little bit harder. And choose the music that you want to have on and prepare that, like prepare a playlist of music to have going in the background. And it's nice when you're hosting to also figure out like arrival times and everything like that, so you know what time your dinner or your meal is going to be at. So just take some time to plan, and it'll help you to have a more relaxed day because you'll know what you need to be doing at a certain time. And if you delegate out certain things, then even like the cleaning, a lot of people like to clean their house before they host something. Delegate a room to each person in your family, or ask a friend to help you with that. You know, as long as it's a two-way street and you do it to help somebody else when they're hosting, it's perfectly acceptable. I think it's ridiculous this day and age for people to try to do it all, because most people work, or they have kids to take care of, or other responsibilities. They don't just have like all this time to sit there and you know, like slave away in the kitchen all day long while everybody else gets to enjoy themselves. And then the last thing, number 6, is weight gain. Obviously at the holidays, a lot of it revolves around food. A lot of gatherings between people revolve around food, and it can be stressful for some people who have either lost weight or have gained weight and they don't want to gain more. And also you can just kind of get into a cycle of eating unhealthily. You know, you just end up eating a lot of treats but hardly any, you know, fruits or veggies or whatever. And that can just be something that will bother people. And I think that's why a lot of us make the resolution for January to lose weight, because you've put on 5, 10, whatever during the holiday season. So my advice to avoid the stress of weight gain, if it is something that bothers you, that I actually use, is to not deny myself anything, but to just to make choices. So don't say yes to every single treat or goodie that people offer you, but say yes to the ones that you really like. You know, when you go to a holiday party, a lot of times there's a table or there's platters being passed around with lots of different things on them, or even not at a party, but there's just people bringing you baked goods or giving you gifts with little, you know, edible things in them. Don't eat every single thing that you get or every single thing that you get offered. Just eat the things that you really actually want, and then you'll end up eating less. And then even when you're eating those things, just have 1 or 2. You know, if it's a cookie, have like a couple of shortbread cookies. If it's a piece of cake, just have like a normal sized piece of cake and like eat it slowly and enjoy it and then be done with it. I think the problem is when we say yes to everything, because a lot of times, you know, when you're at someone's house, they're always offering you seconds or in thirds, and they're constantly bringing stuff around. You have to be comfortable in yourself to know what it is that you really want to have and make choices for those things, and then turn the other stuff down and be able to say no without feeling like you're being rude. There's nothing wrong with saying, those look delicious, but no thank you, I'm gonna have one of these instead though, thank you very much. You know, like there's nothing wrong with that. Or if you're saying like, I'm so full, but thank you very much, those look wonderful, maybe I'll have one later, you know, like something like that. And if someone gives you baked goods, you can take a few out and then give the rest to someone else, you know, or share them with other people rather than just having that whole tin of cookies to yourself. So that's my tips for dealing with 6 of the big stress factors, I think, that occur during this time of the holiday season. I hope you enjoyed this video and that you participate in this tag. It's great if we can all kind of like help each other get through the less fun part of the holiday season. So I'm wishing you all lots of love and blessings, and I'll see you soon. Bye!